Hello everyone, I'm Yeva from simplyyeva.com, and today I'm doing a video on a topic that is a bit different from what I normally do. So usually I focus on the students, but today I'd like to focus on you, the teacher, and on your well-being. Do you feel drained? Do you have lack of energy? Is your patience at a premium? I know I'm right there. It's February and it's not easy. So it's the middle of the school year and we tend to react more and we cannot wait for vacation to come. So in today's video, I'm sharing 5 ways on how you can help yourself feel better, deal with the situations at work and in personal life more gracefully, and overall, how you can improve your happiness. You ready? Here we go. So tip number 1, called You Have the Power. Yes, I said it. So too often we complain about situations or people, let's be frank, we have no control over. There will always be a colleague or an administrator or a rule that rub you the wrong way. There will always be responsibilities that you just cannot stand, okay? No matter how much you love your job. So the only thing that you can control is you. You have the power to choose your reactions and actions. You have the power to respond to a person or a situation or not to do it. You have the power to choose to be compassionate, or if you can't feel compassionate at that particular moment, to take a step or 2 back and to think about it. So the best way to put yourself in this powerful mode is to ask yourself a question. What can I do about this? Too frequently we get the first answer that comes to our head is nothing, I can't do anything. But taking a step back, there's always something you can do, even if it's being quiet, for example, that's already doing something. Another question is, how can I help? If you are in a heated argument with somebody, or if you see that it leads to nowhere, you can ask another person, how can I help to solve this situation? When the attention shifts from either focusing on just you or focusing on what another person is doing wrong, somehow the entire situation shifts and you can actually begin a more constructive conversation. But always remember, you have the power within you. And when you realize that, you will immediately start feeling better. Tip number 2, which is very important in my mind. It is called Do One Thing. So I recently read a book called The One Thing by Gary Keller, and in that book, which is basically applicable to all areas of life, the author says that we all need to really do one thing a day to move forward, but we have to find that one thing that moves us forward the most. So we live in the age of an overload of information, both in our personal lives and at school. Our minds are so busy trying to get everything done and taught that no wonder we feel like we have nothing left come evening. And think about ESL world. This is multiplied by the fact that our students are most likely behind the mainstream standards, and there is the constant pressure to perform and to show results. So yes, we need to focus on one thing, and it will take some time, but once we identify it, we can get the best bang for our buck, so to speak, and we will be much happier and our students will be much happier. So for example, is it worth it trying to push a lesson that doesn't match the student's level? Okay, so what can you do in the time that you have so that you can achieve the most? So could it be working on listening through content? Could you dictate some sentences that will allow the student to understand a chapter in a book or a historical period they're studying in their social studies? Could it be writing a journal every day that will allow the students to utilize their written expression and utilize that vocabulary you guys have been cramming? What is the one thing for you personally that you can do to feel fulfilled? Is this something that has been hanging over your head in your personal life, and once you just said, you know what, today, that's the only thing that I'm going to do? And it really feels much more fulfilling to do just one thing that matters the most, as opposed to scratching off and crossing out the things off the list of gazillion things that you have to do. So try to find something that you can do and some one thing that you can do, and this will lead you towards more happiness and more fulfilled life. Tip number 3, it's called no worries, or don't worry, be happy. Okay, so I know it sounds too easy and overly simplistic, but bear with me here. Let's think about it. What is worry? So worry is our projection of fear into the future. All right, so the fear of what might happen, the fear that might be based on something that may have happened in the past to you or to somebody else, and you're worrying about all the possible scenarios and outcomes, but you really don't have any resources to cope with them. So we have no control over what's going to happen. So like maybe, we can control what we do now, and that's what matters the most, is this moment right now. But what we do right now might determine what comes out later. But if we are worrying about misbehavior of a student or about some meeting that is going to happen, then it's not going to move you forward. Thinking through and deciding on the actions you can take will help you. And if you take a step back, we are human, and yes, worry is there. But think about that you have a gift of the right now moment. This moment, as we speak. I don't know what's going to happen in 5 minutes from now. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But what we have, I am enjoying making this video, and this is all that matters to me right this moment. And I'm hoping that you will find that particular joy in the moment when you're sipping your coffee or tea, or when you're talking to a person that you love, or when a student does something that shows you that they have learned something. These are the moments that are right now. So don't worry, be happy. Tip number 4 is called watch your language. I know, yes, I said it. I'm telling you, the language teacher, to watch your language. But the words that come out of our mouths really do determine our reality. I know it sounds all woo, but let's think about it for a minute. If you complain a lot, or if you know somebody who complains a lot, weather, a person, a food, anything else, a crazy driver, something too expensive, the more you complain about it, the more of that thing you notice. And then it does not bring any relief from whatever mood or stress you're in. So the more you do it, so if we twist it around, and if we try to find something that is, I don't know, a little bit more positive. Okay, so let's say the driver in front of you is going slow, but the song on the radio is great. Okay, or it gives you time to relax before work. Or for example, the weather is bad, but the spring is coming. Okay, so you kind of like try to find something more positive. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. But for me, it totally works, because when I try to shift my thinking into a little bit more sunny area, so to speak, then I start noticing more positive things. It's like attracts like in a way. So, and then another tip is, and I wrote it here, watch your butts. When we say a statement, I like this classroom, but it's too dark, or I would like to help this student, but I have no time, then we kind of like, it's two statements, but when they're connected with a but, the but erases all the positivity and all of the well intentions of the first statement. How many times, like if ladies are listening here, like for example, say, oh, I love the color on your hair, but I would do a different haircut. You don't hear the first part. All you hear is what follows but. So again, it's going back to this expression, self-expression. Watch your language, and seriously, watch how your perspective and how the way you feel changes. And finally, tip number 5 and it's not a new tip by any means, but it's something that is really, really important. Take a mental health day. I know I'm telling you to take a mental health day, and we all know we should, but a lot of times we find excuses. We don't want to create sub-plans. We don't want to, like a quiz is coming up and we need to help the students. There's a meeting, there's this and that. But the thing is, if your body and your mind are telling you that you're done, just take the day off. The sick days and personal days are there for you, for your wellness, for your well-being. So if you need to take a step back, this is the best way to do it. Whatever you do on that day, don't feel guilty that you took it off, because in the end, it will help you and your students and your colleagues when you come back refreshed. Whether you just binge watch Netflix or clean the house, whatever is your jam. It's going to be something different, a different activity. My father used to say, what is vacation? Vacation is a change of activity. And I feel like he was right. You totally remove yourself from your everyday routine. You totally remove yourself from the problems that are at work, let's say. And then you stay home and you do whatever makes you happy. That recharges you, and you are able to go back and to give more of what you love. So here are my 5 tips. They likely are not new, but as we know it, repetition is the mother of learning. And I hope that at least some of them clicked for you in ways that you really needed. Now I have a question for you. Now, what would you add to this list? Do you have any tips that would help us feel better and less drained in the middle of the school year? Share your tips in the comments. I would really love to hear your thoughts. Now, if you liked this video and found it valuable, I would greatly appreciate it if you shared it with your friends and colleagues. And if you would like to hear more from me, whether it's about ESL teaching tips and strategies or teacher self-care, subscribe to my channel so you receive notifications when a new video is posted. Thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you again next time.